Hey everybody, Scott here. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're enjoying the fact that the weather's cooling off a little bit when you can get outside without melting. It's time to take a look at San Diego sales numbers through August. I was surprised when I took my first look, and I think you are too. Let's go ahead and look at some charts. First chart I want to take a look at is the median detached housing price. And as you can see, the curve has been heading up and to the right here ever since January. And we've now hit to a point where 13.5% above where we were last year. And remember, this is due partly because the market came down and crashed last year a little bit. It wasn't a crash. I've always said it's not a crash. It was a correction. And now we've come back up. So we're up 13.5%. But what I like to look is month over month. And in that case, we were actually up over 3.5% in a single month. Now, this 13.5% is going to continue to increase because, as you can see here, August, a little bit of increase in September, but then we bottomed out through the rest of the year until January. So January of 2024, we'll probably see a really large year-over-year increase. But what I like to focus on here is the month over month and the fact that we're on a good sustained run. That's the median, so consider that the price of the average house. If we come down here and look at the average, which is the mean, that turned around and after kind of flattening out for a couple months, started back up again, and that's sitting at 1.35. Similar story if we look at the attached housing. Okay, a little more aggressive increase on the month, 35,000 compared to 640. So that is basically 5%, and we're up 8.5% on the year. The average price also up, showing a gain on the year over year of almost 12%, with the single month gain being 30,000 on 7, so about 4%. Now we're looking at activity, as that's going to drive what happens in the future. One thing I want to point out is I'm filming this a lot earlier in the month than I normally do, and some of these numbers will change. Now, the average prices, the median prices, we're not going to see much of a difference. Where we are going to see a difference is the volumes are going to change. And the reason for that is this is all dependent. This comes from the San Diego Multiple Listing Service. On September 3rd, agents have not made all the changes to the MLS, especially since we're in the Labor Day weekend. So people come back from Labor Day, they'll record more homes that have sold, more homes that were listed, and more homes that went into escrow. So these following numbers will shift around a little bit. And in generally, the solds will increase, the pendings will probably go down. So if you look at here, we're showing even sales compared to last month, but almost 20% below last year. I think we'll get a few more sales, and this may end up 15% below last year rather than 20%. So we'll get a few more sales, so we'll show a little bit of an increase, but still activity well below where we have been. And if we want to stretch this out a little bit so you can see historically, we're way down here where we just haven't existed, and that's why, once again, a lot of real estate agents are finding different jobs and companies are folding. Lenders are getting out of the residential lending. If we look at sold listings for the attached, kind of the same thing, 20% low, but once again, these will come up a little bit. So looking at the pending sales, those are also down. So we're 21% down on pending, 24% down on the detached. Now look at this. This is a pretty steep drop month over month on detached. So that says we've killed a little bit of the demand. And if we look at new listings are also going down, but they're a lot higher. The new listings are a lot higher than the actual sales we're getting. So this chart shows us the active listings, and looking at the 3-year chart is like, uh-oh, we're getting back towards the peak. But once again, let's take this back out to 10 years, and it's we're still in really low territory. And once again, to compare it to the crash, let's go all the way back. You can see that crash was driven by this, 15, 17,000 listings, and we're sitting down here at 2,700 listings. So not really the same, or 3,000 listings. So not really the same thing. But let's bring this back into 3 years. On the twin home townhome, same thing. It's increasing, but very much lower historically, but higher than we have been in the last couple of years is the direction it's heading. What does that do for months of inventory? Because months of inventory is really where you're balancing out. If the number of sales go up and inventory is going up, you're not going to see a big change in pricing. Sales go up and inventory goes down, then you're going to see an increase in price. If sales go down while inventory is going up, then you're going to see a reduction. Remember, we normally see price changes that are sustained once we get in San Diego above 5, 6, 7 months. In there is kind of an inflection point where we start to see a few years of softness in sales price. So let's take a look at where we are now. If we look at months of inventory, this is for twin homes. Okay, we're shooting up. We're at 2.2 months, still low. And once again, let's look at this, stretch this out so everybody can calm down. All right, we're historically very low, but we are starting to climb up a little bit here. Okay, and we look at the detached homes, a little bit more inventory, about 2.6. So we're still low, but we are increasing. It's to the point where it kind of bears some watching. Let's take a look at a couple other interesting markets. Let's look at the market time. So active market time is still on the detached homes. The median is 13 days. So if your house is priced right, you should be selling pretty quickly. On the twin homes, once again, that's 11 days. So homes are on the market very quickly. That just kind of speaks to technology and the seriousness of buyers. Buyers aren't looking online casually. They have their pre-quals. They're ready to go. They're writing offers, and when they see a house that's solid, they see it pretty quickly on the MLS. Everybody gets there, and really, when you figure that typically the home's on the market a couple days before you can see it, and then it takes a couple days of showings and then a couple days of negotiation, 11 days is almost really an instantaneous type sale. So that means offers came in quickly, counter offers went out, they settled on a buyer. So that shows the market. The buyers that are out there are serious, even though the overall number of buyers is lower. With inventory being lower, we're keeping our market time low, and our inventory is climbing, but just a little bit. Okay, so what do I see looking forward? Well, inventory is increasing a little bit, but with the latest jobs report, it looks like the Fed may actually hit a pause. If the Fed hits a pause or even starts to go down, I think we really see this market time to take off, because rates staying even or going down from 7 to 6.5 really help buyers, but they don't help sellers. Remember, a seller in a home with a 3% interest rate can't really get an equivalent home to replace that at a 6.5% interest rate. So the rates falling half a point, even 2 points, are going to bring the buyers out of the woodwork, because all of a sudden they've got that extra bedroom, the better neighborhood, maybe a pool, but it's not going to bring the sellers out because they can't replace the house they have unless they're moving out of state. So rates go down, I think what we see is prices really off to the races, and we could see it light a fire under the valuations, not necessarily the activity once again, because I don't think the sellers will be there. Thank you very much for watching all the way through the end. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, put in the comment section below. Still shooting videos on the development project, so there's a couple more on that, and it's progressing nicely. We are hoping that we'll be going to engineering here in the next couple of weeks. Also, we have another exciting announcement about a potential additional property we're looking at. And I am posting some videos germane to the real estate market and debunking some of the videos that other people are doing, talking about doom and gloom. So I'll be getting another one of those up here in the next couple of weeks. All right, if you have any questions, once again, hit me in the comment section below. If not, I'll talk to you again next month. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.